Alrighty. How we doing out there, everybody? This is Scotty coming to y'all live. Well, not live, but Scotty coming to y'all tonight about a very deep subject and a little family story times. But the subject is all about the cancer. Oh, I got the heartburns going on now. A lot of people in my family has gotten cancer, has died from cancer. I know, so. But first of all, I want to tell you to hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me know if you like it or not. And hit that notification bell. That way you can see my next videos. Alright. I'm going to start this off way back to my grandma and grandpa. My grandmother died in 1986. And my grandfather died in 1993. They had 8 beautiful kids, 7 girls, 1 boy. Feel sorry for the boy, but oh well. But there were 8 kids. They had 8 kids, 7 girls, 1 boy. So, they had a life. Probably wasn't the best life in the world, but it wasn't the worst life in the world either. My grandmother, she died in 1986. She had hearing problems. She went out and checked the mailbox and didn't hear the car coming, but a car was coming super fast around a sharp curve there in Ripley, Tennessee, and was struck by the car and was killed. I'm not sure if she actually had cancer at that very time or not. My aunt said that she did today. I don't know if she was just talking out of her head or not. I don't know. But I'll get to you about her here shortly. Left my grandfather, a widow. My grandfather was not a drunk, but he had been known to be a heavy drinker. He worked out on the river as a barge captain or whatever. He went out one night and got drunk, wrecked his truck. It almost killed him. It did. I think that if he was not drunk, he probably would have died. I think a lot of times when a person is drunk, I think they have a better rate of surviving than somebody that's not drunk. I guarantee you if he wasn't drunk, he would probably died, but he was drunk, so he lived. After he had that wreck, a few years done went by. I'm not sure exactly when he had that wreck. 88, I guess, 1988, maybe 1989. Some of my family members can tell me about that wreck, what year it was. But I don't even think they remember that wreck. But I mean, everybody remembers the wreck because he almost died from it. But I don't know if anybody actually remembers the year. But a few years later, he was diagnosed with cancer. And cancer got the best of him in 1993. is when he passed away. December, I think, when it was. And so after he had passed away from cancer, it left all the 8 kids. There's 8 of us, or 8 of them. My mom and all of her sisters and brothers. There was 8 of them. Well, of course, 8, 7 of them, 6 of them. 6 of them had multiplied. Whether they had 2 children or 3. One of them couldn't have children, the woman, and that's the one I'm going to talk to you about here in a minute. And then the boy, he didn't have no kids either, that I'm aware of, that I know. Could he have to have some somewhere else? I don't know. He could have, but I don't think he's got any kids. But so now my grandma and grandpa had died. Grandpa, I know for sure, died from cancer, and grandmother had cancer, but she didn't die from the cancer. She was hit by a car, and that car is what killed her. Back in 2014, well, actually 2010, 2011, my aunt was diagnosed with cancer. And she had 2 daughters. And at the same, not very long after that, my only uncle had cancer. Now my aunt, I never was good with keeping up with your age group on who's the oldest and who's the youngest. I know the boy was the youngest, but he had cancer. He was diagnosed with cancer. Both of them died. My uncle died first in 2014. And then my aunt died in 2014, exactly 3 months. My uncle died in July, and my aunt died in October. So that's August, September, October. 3 months. Exactly. In the same year, 2014. Even the day had 17. Both of them died on the 17th. The only thing that was different was your month. One was in July and one was in October. So, well, I didn't know until this morning, and actually I just got back home a little while ago from seeing her, but my mother called and said my other aunt had a spell, and she went to the ER room, and the doctor told them that there was nothing else they could do for her because she was eat up with cancer really bad, and they send her home with the hospice, or hospice, however you want to say it. Pretty much go home to die. So because there was nothing else that they could do for her. Did not know she had cancer until this morning. So we went down there and seen. Of course, I had moved and I wasn't sure where it was, so I had to have her husband come meet us somewhere so they could take us out to where they live. But we was at the graveyard, and I was looking at Grandma and Grandpa's graves, and Uncle Neil's and my Aunt Cindy's. I was looking at their graves as well. Aunt Cindy had 2 girls. One of them's old enough, but the other one I think was like 17, 18 years old, I think. The boy that died, he didn't have no kids. But, so we went down there today, and we met up with my aunt's husband. And they had moved out of the house that they was originally living in. Now they're living in a camper. This is where the story gets even sadder. I just couldn't stay out there very long today. I just could not do it. It hurt my feelings to see how she was living. Sad situation. But I'm going to tell you exactly what I saw today. Okay. So he comes to get us, right? But my mom told me this morning on the phone that she had moved because they was living in a house. And now she's living in a camper. So I was okay, you know. Campers can be pretty nice, you know. So we get to his place. And before we go back there where the camper was, he told me, he said, just follow in behind me and stay with me. He said, don't give it a whole lot of gas and don't stop either. Just follow in behind me. And come find out why he said that, because they're in the back of the field and they've already got ruts and stuff dug up where the road is to go to the back. It's pretty muddy, in other words. It was pretty muddy. I didn't get stuck. You know, I done like he said, you know, I let it idle down. And when I came back out, that was the biggest fear. But, you know, I had it set. When I got a running start at it, I was about 10 miles an hour in low gear. And I eased right on out of there. But let's talk about my visit there. When I first got there, I saw my aunt. She was out there washing clothes. Now this camper is only about 20 foot long, 22 foot long. It might have been a 22 foot, but it was a small camper. Where did I come up with camper? It was a small camper. And she's got a hospital bed coming. You're not going to get a hospital bed in this little bitty camera. Why did I say camera? You're not going to get a hospital bed in this little bitty camper. It's just no way. I've got good skills and stuff, but there's no way you're going to get a hospital bed in a camper. So, but what I was very surprised at, her washing clothes in a washer machine in the middle of the field. The washing machine's outside. She's out there washing out that side. Of course, she was cussing. I've always known my aunt to cuss and stuff. I've never seen her when she hadn't said any ugly words. Her husband, they had bought some wood. Her husband is, they done been living in this camper for 2 weeks now. And her husband is going to build a add-on addition to the front of the camper. And this add-on addition is going to be like a living room with the hospital bed in there and TVs and couches and stuff. We can put a roof over it, and I guess he's going to put walls up, but she's living in a pretty bad situation, and And yeah, it breaks my heart to see her in this kind of situation now that she's got cancer. And my mother is actually going down tomorrow to see her. So, it's going to be pretty bad out there. They did say something about earlier today that she was going to be cremated. So, that's one less thing I'm worried about. But my aunt, she just got that I don't care type of attitude. She's always been like that. And I'm going to pick on something here too. And I hope the doctors and the researchers and all watches this video as well, because I'm going to tell them to their face that smoking marijuana does not kill cancer cells. It does not improve health-wise. It does not. My aunt that died, my uncle that died, and my aunt now that is about to die. My aunt today had a joint in her hand, smoking a joint, marijuana. My uncle done the same thing, and my aunt did the same thing, the two that died, which is my mama's brothers and sisters. And they all smoked marijuana from the time they was 15, I guess. 14, 15. They started real young. So, if marijuana kills cancer cells, then why are they dying? Because they're eaten up with cancer, right? Well, marijuana, they smoked marijuana way before they even had the cancer, so cancer in that body be like, ooh, they got marijuana in here, I ain't coming in here, you know. This false information. Cancer does not cure cancer cells. Marijuana does not cure cancer cells. So, that is all that I've got to say on here. Like I said, keep my family in your prayers. That's one good thing about my family. All the sisters, they pull together and they try to help one another. But people like my aunt, the one that's living now, you can't help her. She's too angry, is what I guess what you would say. She had a attitude, anger management problem. So that's all I'm going to say about her. Just keep everybody in prayers. Appreciate y'all, and hope to catch y'all again pretty soon.